and welcome back to another episode of the Elevated Chat Room. Elevate your mind, elevate your life. It's your boy, it's your host, Lonzo Jones. Co-host Dwayne Malone, man, he's behind the scenes once again, working the cameras, doing his thing, making sure the sound sounds good, making sure we stay on point. Now, like always, we have special guests. Now, before I get to introducing the guests, let me tell you what the topic is for tonight. Turning failures into fuel for success. We got a public speaker with us on tonight, Mansfield Key, but he's better known as Heat Key. Hey,
yes, sir,
Heat,
yes,
man,
sir,
introduce yourself to the crowd, man. Let them know who you are.
Man, it's a beautiful, blessed day. Thank y'all for having me. I'm super excited. A little nervous, man. This setup is so nice,
Relax,
man.
Relax. We just talking.
And I've been watching you guys do what you do. I just had a tour of the facility, and man, this is phenomenal, man.
Appreciate it.
Elevated. Elevated chat room. So let's take it hard, bro. Let's go.
Tell them a little bit more about P. Key.
So,
who
man,
are
P.
you?
Key,
What
man,
you do?
grew up in West Florence. Man, to be honest, my desire was to be a rapper, man. I thought I was gonna be Tupac, man. Real talk. People be like, man, you're a public speaker, man. What are you doing? Man, I thought I was gonna be Pac, man. I wanted to be a rapper, man. And believe it or not, I had a group called Each One Teach One.
Okay.
Back in the late 90s. I may date myself, you know.
Okay.
And we had this show at this community college, and we had this show, and like at the time they had this box that you put the CD in, and it's a burnt CD, and it spins around, and they would put the mic up to the speaker, and it spin around and play. And I told the guy, hey man, when they play it, just let it play. I'm gonna talk until it comes on, and when it come on, I'm gonna go into the song. So man, I go into the first song, the CD goes off, and I just started talking. Yeah, listen, you got it, blah, 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 blah. Next song come on. I jump into it. I got my group with me. Next song come on. It spins again, I start talking. When we get done, the guy said, man, y'all gotta get this group to come to your church, to come to your school. Not only do they rap, but he speaks as well. Now, nobody knew that I was only speaking so I wouldn't be standing there waiting on the track to come on.
Yeah.
Real story. And from that day to this day, man, they started calling me to rap and speak. And eventually, man, they said, man, can you just do the speaking? I don't know if they were saying I wasn't a good rapper. But that's how I landed in the public speaking. Didn't know, man. I always say you got two type of people. One that got something to say, and one that just want to say something. And I thought I always had to put it in a rap form. When I started speaking, I mean, you notice today when people drop, they call them bars.
Yes.
It's like rap, man. So I feel like I'm dropping bars.
But you are. Only difference is not to no beat.
It's not to the beat. It's the same thing.
It really is.
So, man, that's what brought me to this chair right here, man.
Yeah.
Amongst a few other things, man, that I struggle with. But sometimes the struggle is how you get the strength. And just like you said, the fuel came from the failure. What I struggle with is the same thing that I got strength from. So the reason I'm sitting here now is because of the struggle. A lot of people want what they see in the strength zone.
Yeah.
But they don't want the struggle that come with it.
They don't know the story.
They don't know the story, man.
But they have no idea.
Man, come on. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And to be honest, I'm actually more impressed with the story and the struggles.
Come on.
Like,
yes,
tell me, bro, like, y'all see where you at. I see you all nice and clean up. I see you out doing your thing, but was it easy? Because we make it look easy when we get there. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it's just like taking a picture for Facebook or IG. Man, we don't take a picture waking up, man, crushed in our eyes.
Right.
And we get clean, we sit up and snap, and then we put filters on it because we want to. But they don't know what it took to be able to do what we're doing today, man. Yeah. Just like, man, everything costs something. Nothing is free.
Yeah.
And a lot of times we want that glory, but we don't want the story that come with it. We want what we see somebody have, but we don't want what it cost them to get it.
Yeah.
And we kind of like, oh man, he had to go through that.
Yeah, I don't think I really wanted that back.
Still want that? Man, he a multi-millionaire. He own X, Y, and Z now. But man, what did it cost him?
Yeah.
And so, man, that's the part of the struggle that a lot of people don't, I don't want to say they don't recognize it. Sometimes they recognize it, but they don't want to go through it.
Yeah, I don't really, it's hard to sit back and like just watch somebody go through something and then empathize it if you've never been through it yourself.
Never been through it.
So it's like, yeah, you could tell me all like before I came a dad, before I came a parent, they would tell me, well, parenting is like this, parenting is like this, man. It's gonna be. You have no idea until you actually step into it. When you step into it, you understand. But it's one of those things like if you ain't walked through it, then it's just hard for me to
and you start going back thinking like, hey, now I know what my dad meant when he said that.
Come on.
Now I know why my mom.
Come on. I called my parents
How many times
one day.
we said that?
I called my parents one day and was like, man, I just want to thank y'all. My boys was probably like 4 and 2 at the time. And I was like, y'all did all this for me.
Come on, man.
Look, I just want to say thank you because I had no idea.
You have no, and then when you get to a certain stage, man, and I know we may dive into this, so we can dive now, man. Man, I was so angry at my dad because when I was in middle school, he left. I didn't realize he was addicted to drugs. I didn't realize when him and my mom divorced, it hurt him just as much as it hurt her. I'm just looking at you gone, bro. You left. I'm the oldest. I got 2 younger brothers. And you gone? You just gonna leave? And then when I find out later, oh my God, that his dad had all these kids by different women that when he was 6 years old, he saw his dad get killed by his mom while he's in the house with 3 younger siblings and his mom was pregnant. Then he grew up in a foster home in Ohio because they had to leave the state of Alabama and grew up in a foster home. When I realized like,
no way.
How could what he was to us with what he didn't know?
Yeah.
Man, I had to, that's my pop.
Yeah.
And then he came back after all of that. I said, oh man. So I'm like, man, Pop, I'm sorry, bro. I didn't know that you didn't know. And sometimes we blaming people for just being who they are.
Yeah.
Doing what they can and what they
doing the
have.
best they can. But we don't see it though.
We don't see that. We're looking at what we didn't get or what we don't have, instead of looking at, man, did they give you, as a quote, and you can stop me, man.
No,
I know we talk. There's a quote that says if you raise your kids, you get to spoil your grandkids. But if you spoil your kids, you might end up raising your grandkids.
Yes, sir.
And I saw that quote, man. I was like, man, it almost sounded like a scripture. Like it should have been John 3:48.
It's pretty spot on.
And I was like, man, how many parents do we know who did what they knew to do with what they had? And then they tried their best, and then their kids, and then it's a cycle. And we know the only way a cycle is broken with a seed. But if no one's there to intervene to break that cycle, then what we've seen generation after generation keep going on and on and on.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting here now, man, as a cycle breaker for my family. I'm sitting here now saying, hey, it's going to stop on my watch. I'm going to be the one that, not saying that it's any easier, but I'm willing to pay the price.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at my 2 brothers, man, we all doing the same thing. And then now my dad kicked back at 74, 75 years old. Man, we getting ready to go on a cruise. This is my pop now.
Yeah.
Like, what? Pop, you? My best friend, this the dude that got my back now.
Yeah.
That I used to be so angry at because he wasn't there. Now he's back and he's there.
Yeah.
And man, I don't have the words to describe that.
And see, it speaks to a place in a man's heart that no matter how strong, how successful, no matter what he's doing, he still needs that father's love. I don't care how grown you are. It was a few years ago, my dad called me out the blue. Now, me and my dad got a relationship and all that kind of stuff, right? But we don't talk every day. This is just not just what we do, you know what I'm saying? But he'll call me from time to time. He called me this particular time. Wasn't no birthday, nothing special. He was like, son, I just want to call you until I'm proud of you. I'm like, he's like, yeah. He's like, I didn't want nothing. He's like, I see everything you're doing. When I come see the kids and my grandkids and I see you coaching them and he just naming stuff off with everything. And you don't think you need that. He's like, man, I'm over here. I'm grown. I got my own kids. Yeah. No, it hit me.
You need, listen, when my dad said that, when I heard that, man, I just heard that. This year.
Yeah. And you grown, good and grown.
For the first time, I did this, the state of Georgia, all the therapists, counselors who work with people on drugs, right? So I did this conference in Georgia. The state of Alabama booked me to do the same conference. I tell the story about how, man, they found out I couldn't read, tell them about my dad being on drugs. I'm getting a basketball scholarship. My mom said, I ain't getting on no airplane. I'm not getting on the plane. Call your dad. Man, call my dad. My dad is at a place called Grace Landing, which is a drug rehab place. This is about his third or fourth time there. Man, my dad a big guy. He's like 150, 160 pounds. So I go there, man. Hey, Pop, man, you think you can go in school, want to put me on the plane, and Mom don't want to go. Yeah, I go. So we get on the plane. When we get on the plane, my dad look at me and say, man, I'm going to stay clean this time. So I tell the story to this group. So they say, man, it would be so cool if your dad was here to hear. And I tell the whole story about how my dad came back and all this, right? Because this is when he came back. He leave in 8th grade, come back my senior year. So I said, Pop, man, I need you to really go to this conference with me, man. I'm doing about 600 therapists, counselors, drug reps. Man, we down in Perdido Beach, man. My dad fly down there, him and his friend, me and my wife. Now, I got to go to North Carolina after we leave there. So we catch the plane together going back, and then we go 2 different ways. Man, I do it. It's 500-600 people. And I'm telling the story just like I'm telling. Man, my dad, he wasn't there, and he was da-da-da-da. And, man, and I break, right?
Oh, yeah, I already know about
So
the
when I
causes.
break, everybody in the audience crying. And I said, man, my dad, man, he da-da-da-da-da-da. And he came back and he said, I'm going to stay clean. It was 30 years ago. My dad said, I'm going to stay clean. And today, I just want to introduce you all to my dad. And my dad stood up. Listen, man, it wasn't a dry eye in the building, man.
Yeah.
And people was like, oh, man. So we get on the plane, we leave. Me and my wife head to North Carolina. He headed to Huntsville, him and his friend. And we getting ready to walk. First time my dad hearing me speak outside. He said, son, I'm proud of you. Man, look, man, it was like a movie, man.
Oh, I already know, bro.
Listen, I'm walking down the airport. I'm in North Carolina, bro. My wife said, you guys, yeah, I'm going. I'm walking, listen, I'm in the airport, man, in North Carolina. And I'm walking down, my wife, I'm just driving the bag, man. I'm talking about tears rolling down my eyes, man. And I was like, man, my daddy never told me he was proud of me, man. And so sometimes you don't even know what you need until you get it.
Yeah.
When I got that, man, I was like, man, I'm wipe my eyes. I'm like, man, shoot, man. But from that day to this day, now my dad be like, hey, boy, you need me to go on one of them trips with you? Now he want. But I'm going back to somebody that didn't get that.
Oh, yeah.
Somebody's dad passed away, or somebody's dad never gave them that. So I'm like, what about the ones who don't get that? But maybe they need that father figure.
Yeah. And
so everything I do now was based out of the struggles that I had yesterday. So I'm like, man, I know what it's like to score a touchdown in a game or score 30 points in the game and look in the stands and everybody's dad there but yours. I know what it's like to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But your mom working and she fixing hair in the evenings and you like, but then they come into the games and then all of a sudden, man, dad on the scene. Man, sometimes we got to give them an opportunity, man, to get back in the game. But no, you wasn't there. And mom said this about you, mom said that, but we never got a chance to know him for ourselves.
Yeah.
I don't even know how we got on fatherhood, man. But
no, it's good.
But a lot of times, man, we don't realize what we need sometime until we get it. And when we get it, man, if we don't do something with what we are getting, I always say complacency today breeds captivity tomorrow. If I'm complacent in what I receive today and I don't do anything with it, somebody gonna become captive tomorrow because I didn't say, hey man, I'm gonna go get a kid who don't have a dad and go to his game. So when he come in, Mr. Kid, you come to my game. Wife said, what time you come on? Hey man, I got stopped by this game because I told this kid I was gonna.
Yeah.
And it means so much to them, even though I'm just right there. I see you, boy. He didn't even get in the game.
It's your presence.
He didn't even get in the game.
It's the presence, though, man.
But he saw me on the sideline. I said, boy, you hit 2 or 3 jumpers in warm-up. So you gotta let him know you.
Yeah.
What a boy want? He wants somebody to see him, man.
Yeah. What a man wants.
What a man.
Same thing. Come on.
Come on. Oh, I heard a man say one time, if women could give their husband what they give their sons.
Come on. Man. Bro, we talk about that all the time. Hold up. And not
okay.
And not even the son. They dog.
And
I'm not being funny.
The dog.
Come on now.
The dog, man.
Women that have dogs.
Come on, man.
That dog don't have to ask for nothing. That dog is fed on time. That dog is put outside for do his thing.
Wow.
Give him baths on time.
Wow. That's good.
Dog don't ask for nothing.
The dog don't ask for anything, man.
But what about the man?
Come
on, bro.
God, man, that's hey, I ain't heard that, man. That's he said the dog.
The dog. Y'all ain't got no pet. Y'all ain't got no dog.
Do not.
You know somebody got a dog?
I do. I know a couple who got a dog, and I know the woman who loves.
Does she not love the heck out of that dog?
The dog sleep in the bed.
Come on, bro. She'll kick the husband out before she kick the dog.
Listen, the husband say when he get home, if he get home too late, he just sleep on the couch because he know the dog.
Come on.
He don't want to wake the dog.
So who in covenant? Who in covenant? Is it the man?
Is it the man
or the dog?
I'm telling you, man. But in all reality, though, man, when you catch a man doing something right and praise him for it, he'll do it again.
And do it better.
And listen, man, my wife, one day, man, I'm trying to bring in all the bags, right?
Yeah.
I got all the bags. She said, can you get them? I got them. We good. So I'm bringing I got all the bags. We done been to Walmart. I got all of them, man. And I didn't drop the bag, but I had some of that ragu sauce in the jar.
Yeah.
And it tilted. I tried to catch. I'm like, oh, it's okay. But I didn't know it was the ragu sauce in it. Bam. It broke in the garage. Man, sauce got all over my shoe. I'm like, oh, man. She was like, I asked you if she needs some help. I said, man, I'm good. Man. And, man, I realized that I was carrying too much at the time, bro. And when you're carrying too much as a man, you don't know what's going to drop. I could have dropped a banana. I could have dropped anything. But the one thing that was breakable is what I dropped. And sometimes as men, we trying to carry so much. And sometimes the wife, she just want to help out a little bit. That's why he created, man, I got it. I'm good. Man, I don't know what brother listening. Brother might be listening right now. Bro, they gotta help too, man.
Yeah.
You know, and sometimes it's okay to let them help, man, or make 2 trips.
Yeah.
But my wife looked at me, man, she said, I thought you had it. I thought I did.
I actually see it sometimes. I see it that way, but I also see it the opposite way, where the husband actually becomes the helpmate.
Ooh.
Where the wife is doing all the work.
Ooh.
She's grocery shopping. She's bringing the groceries in. She's budgeting. She's doing everything with the kids, with the house and everything. But so the roles have reversed.
The roles have reversed.
I see that quite out, especially when those smart, intelligent women that they're just killing it. And they independent, but they still in a marriage or a relationship. And the man just sit back and just reap all the benefits. I'm deep down inside though, she frustrated silently. She dealing with all kind of emotional issues, but because she may be dealing with some insecurity, she stay with you or stay in covenant with, or she never says anything to you, maybe because of the way you react to certain things. But I challenge men all the time, like, look, you should not be the helpmate. Your wife should help you. She should, like you said, she should ease something off of your plate. Yeah. You shouldn't be easing things off her plate. Especially when it comes to the kids. Yeah. It's kind of like, as men, it's like, oh, that's a woman thing. No.
Man, you got AIDS.
No.
And that's part of it, man. That's part of it.
Yeah.
That's part of it. But, man, I know we on fatherhood, man.
Hey,
do what you do, man. Do it because, I mean, that's one of those, I don't know how to describe it, but if there's one thing, man, that's, and I don't even want to call it a sore spot. I call it goes back to what you're saying. The fuel for success come from the struggle. And then I realized that sometimes that struggle in that area of being a man that others can depend on became the thing that I started wanting to develop in young men.
Yeah.
I started wanting to give them what I wish I had. Not that I didn't get it. My dad was there. Now, I don't want to make it like my dad was.
Yeah.
Football, basketball, all that. But when we hit middle school, that's when he dipped. that's when I needed him. But what about the one who don't get it at all? And so, man, that's part of the struggle, man, that became the strength of what we do today. So if you see me on the stage, if you see me talking to someone, if you see 9 times out of 10, man, it's coming from a place of struggle that turned into strength. So now that fuel, man, is what's underneath that motor. Man, how do you go here? How do you do that?
So let's hit on that. So what is it that keeps you motivated to push forward when dealing with setbacks?
Man, the kicker about a setback is I call it the yin and yang. You know, I remember I had a powerful meeting. I was at Lauderdale County Head Start, WCN Head Start. So Friday, I had about 15, 20 guys. Man, it was one of the most powerful meetings. Man, men left out of there motivated, pumped up. And I said, man, I'm going home early today. It was such a good meeting. I left. I get home, man. Light switch. Hey, hit me. Hey, where you? I'm in line to pick up the kids. Hey, power not on this. I'm checking everything. And I guess, did you pay the bill? Did you pay the bill? Hey, I thought you paid. I go down to the utility department. Hey, look. No, Mr. Key, it's been paid. I said, well, how much is it? So I got the money. She said, I'm sorry. The house is not in your name. It's in your wife's and her brother's name. And they got to be the ones to come down here. And then you got to pay a $200 reconnection fee. Mm-hmm. So now I got to go to my wife's brother.
Put that pride to the side.
And he's more like a father figure to her.
Yeah.
Say, hey, man, I got the money. I got the money. But it's Friday evening, man, and we got to get the lights on. And Charlene, she's at the school picking up the kids. I told her to take the kids to the park. I'm going to meet her at the park, stay there with the kids, and I need y'all to go and pay the bill. He said, well, what? Did you not have the money to pay? Now, I don't have time to explain to him.
Right.
Another man.
Yeah.
Her brother, who's older, who's more like a father. Man, I'm sitting there like, man, this is. Now, the utility department at the time is, I can throw a rock and hit it. Like, I know the guy, they park in front of my house because we living right by the utility. So I know the guys who cut my utilities off, but so when I get back, I say, hey, man, bro, it's Friday, y'all. Say, man, we saw that, man, but we, you know, you were last on the list. We cut it off. So I'm trying to keep them from turning it off. I'm trying to keep the kids from going in and out. Dad, let's go in the house. Let's go in the house. We're going to stay out here. And so it was that moment where, like, I just had the most powerful meeting I ever had with my dads at the school.
Yeah.
And now I'm feeling like the worst dad at home. And I'm like, man, you talking about a setback. But what I realized in that moment, let me back up. I didn't realize it in that moment. What I realized now looking back is that, man, God was developing something on the inside, even in the midst of that. You can call it humility. You can call it vulnerability. You can call, I say I wasn't responsible. You could say that. But man, I didn't have the money when the bill was due. So instead of just calling it, hey, I'm going to be late, blah, 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 I'm just going to pay when I get my check that Friday, boom, boom, boom. And it backfired on me. Her brother, who's more like a father figure, man, you know how I felt?
Yeah.
Asking him to. So when you talk about a setback, as men, sometimes the setback is a setup for a comeback.
Mm-hmm.
So from that day forward, you know what I had to do, man? I said, look, man, we need to measure this and that. All right, when these bills come, we got to do this. And I was kind of like that dude. Like, we just leaving it. Hey, you check the bill. You check the bill. Okay, I'll check it. I'll make sure it get paid. You make sure I get it on time. Like, we had to create a strategy as a couple because of what had happened. Sometimes it's not what happens. It's what you do after it happens.
Yes, sir.
To create a strategy so it doesn't happen again.
Yes, I agree.
And as men, sometimes that's all we need. Okay, I missed it.
I learned.
I learned.
From this. Yeah.
It won't happen again.
Exactly.
They hadn't been turned off since.
Let me ask you this. Did you live on your own before you got married?
I did.
You did? And you handled your own bills before you got married?
I did.
So what happened when you got married?
Man, I started, telling my wife, hey, look, when is this due? When is that due? Hey, you got that? And she did the same.
Yeah.
Instead of us coming up, but it's a marriage talk here.
Oh, it is what it is.
Instead of us saying, okay, we're going to come together. This is how we're going to do it. This is my preference. This is what I prefer to do.
Yeah.
This is a priority to me right here. Here are the principles we're going to establish as a couple. Well, my dad did this. My mom did this. She come from that table. Man, when our dad came home, food was on the table. Hot meal.
Yeah.
Every single day.
Yeah.
That's where she come from. I didn't come from that.
Me neither.
So when she bringing a meal, I'm like, man, I ate McDonald's on the way home. She's like, what I got? I'm not even understanding that's her love language of what she saw. And I don't even realize that she's loving me in her language.
Yeah.
She baking cookies. Man, these cookies, man, I'm talking about they soft, chewy. I'm like, man, these, I don't like them. She bake another batch. They're a little bit harder. Something wrong with them. They're not hard enough. She gets mad.
Yeah.
Burn the cookies. Here you go. I bite it. This it right here. Find out later that my mama cookies burnt on the bottom because our stove was messed up. So my taste that was acquired for the cookies was a burnt cookie. And my wife was making it perfect.
Yeah.
But my taste was,
But that's not what you like, though.
I gotta have it burnt. Cause that's how my mama did. She don't know this.
Yeah. That communication is but you don't, but sometimes you don't even know you need to communicate until after the fact. It's like, well, dang, baby, I didn't know, you didn't know. This is the first time this ever happened.
First time
so
this
why
ever
we
happened.
tripping?
Why we tripping?
When you really think about it.
Man, when you really think about it, and then you that elevated chat room, elevated conversation.
Yes, sir.
But it get a little heated.
But when you have those conversations, there's a breakthrough in the marriage.
Yes.
There's another level of like just trust and intimacy that's created.
Come on, man.
And it's like, yeah, it's hard to have those. You don't want to have the conversation. I mean, I don't know too many men that want to go in there
at 5 o'clock about
right. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know too many men that want to not necessarily tear their wife down, but just tell them where they're flawed at and what they're not getting. We don't want to do that. And I think most of the time we actually hold it in until we're about to explode, and then we ain't got no choice but to tell you.
And then we let it go.
Come on.
And then it's like, oh man, we do a thing with our students where we talk about, can you be honest and not be loyal? Can you be loyal and not be honest?
Okay.
And so she's like, yeah, Mr. Key, I can be loyal and not be honest. Like me and my boy, we got caught up, man. And shoot, man, they had me in the back. And man, I was loyal. They asked me, did they do it? I was like, no, he didn't do it. So I lied to them, but I'm honest with my boy. I said, man, he said, but what about you, Mr. Key? I said, hold on, what? It's not about me. It's about, no, Miss Key come in. She wearing an outfit and said, how did this look? And you know it look a hot mess. Are you going to be honest? And then she mad? Or you gonna be loyal and say, yeah, it look good? I said, bro, it ain't about me and my wife. This is about, I'm doing the question. But it goes back to what you're saying. Yeah. Man, what do you do when truth is not spoken with love?
Come on.
And so that's why they say truth without love sounds mean.
Yeah.
Love without truth is hypocrisy, but you got to speak the love. You got to speak the truth with love. So, man, it's like medicine, man. They can take it, you can receive it, and not waiting until you get upset to start shooting.
Yeah.
You know, man, I'm 6 months into the marriage. 6 months. Got married in April. October, man, I go to jail on a Friday, about 1 o'clock. Man, I don't call my wife until, not call my wife. I'm saying it like I had a choice. I didn't get a call until Tuesday.
Wow.
I'm in Gwinnett County Jail.
Yeah. I
go in on a Friday. I come out on a Tuesday. I call my wife. Hey, whatever you do, don't call nobody in Florence. I know you've been looking for me. I'm in Gwinnett County Jail right now. Don't you call nobody. Now look, you got to go here and post the bond and the bailsman, da-da-da-da, and then protect the deed to the house and da-da-da-da. 6 months into the marriage. So, man, she come get me. She get me out. Man, I'm looking at possibly 20 years, but I'm innocent. Now, I'm really innocent.
Yeah.
But I'm affiliated.
Yes, sir.
Because a guy So man, I'm like, she didn't ask me what I'd done or nothing. We in the ride, headed back to the house. Man, it's quiet, right? And I said, man, I don't know what I'm gonna do now. It just came out of nowhere. And man, you know what my wife said? Well, at least we know what not to do next time. Bro, you could have dropped a pen, man.
Checkmate.
I see, I know what not to do next time.
But listen, did you laugh in the moment?
No.
You did.
In the moment, I was like, right. Bro, but that was that moment that I knew my wife wasn't going to leave, bro.
Yeah.
Like, that was that moment where, yeah, it happened, but we going to get through this. Man, we 27, 28 years in now.
I think as men, no matter how good the marriage is going, we still need reassurance.
We still need reassurance.
That you see us, that you want us, you desire us, that you ain't going nowhere. Because in the hustle of life, you know, we lose that. Like, even though we may have been together 20 years, 30 years.
Come on, man.
But it's like, look, I still, just like your wife, our wives, they want to know that we still are into them and all that kind of stuff, give them attention and affection and all those. We need it too. Like,
we need it too.
Whatever your husband's love language is, you still have to speak it and speak it consistently. I think that'd be the issue sometimes. It's like, even with men, just vice versa. We don't speak it consistent. We'll do it for a week or a month or a couple of days, then we'll fall off for 2 weeks. But it's certain things that our spouses desire that we have to be consistent with.
I could take a diamond ring to my wife right now. 50 carats, it don't matter. Hey, look what I got you. This is what I've been working for. I could share a poem and look in the eye and say, baby, I got the diamond ring. And it means everything. I could do all of that, bro. And you know what she gonna say? I just want you to help me with the dishes tonight and help me fold them. Because her love language is acts of service.
Yeah.
So she don't care. Not that she don't care about the ring, but in her mind, are you going to help me around the house?
Yeah.
Bro, you know how hard it was for me to learn that that's what she wanted more than the stuff?
Yeah.
To get the new car, to get the house. Man, look at the house we're in now. You know, we've been working hard for this house. And she was like, I was okay with the other house if you were going to be gone all the time. You know what it's like to be working, man? I'm in Africa, 30 days. Europe, 19 days. I'm on the road. Man, I'm making more money than we ever made. We nowhere close to the lights being turned off.
Yeah.
We driving everything good. Man, my kids like, Daddy, thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm like, what are they talking about? She said, I bought them some gifts. I said, but what are you? She said, well, you know, every time you leave, when you come back, I give them the gifts and say, your dad bought this for y'all when he was gone.
Wow.
Because I don't ever want them to look at what you do when you leave as competing with them. So when they get older, they won't be mad at ministry and mad at dad going. So they always associate you going with you bringing them back something because you love them. I didn't come up with that. My wife came up with that. But then the day that she said, look, man, they want to watch this movie. I'm like, cool, we can watch the movie. She said, let's watch it tomorrow night. Man, my flight had just landed that day at 3. Drove from Huntsville. I said, no, let's watch it tonight. They hugging me, they little, hey, Dad, we gonna watch the movie. This is back when the red box is out.
Yeah.
Red box, I go to the red box, I get the movie. I got the bucket of popcorn. Man, I go to the movie theater, you know, you can get the popcorn filler. I get home. Man, they excited. I'm excited. Everybody got their little blankets. We wrapped up on the couch. The popcorn we eating. The credits come, you know, when they showing the movies, the previews.
Yeah.
When they showing the previews, everybody excited. Oh, shucks. I said, oh, okay, all right. My wife said the movie is over.
Wow.
What you mean the movie is over? She said, you slept the entire movie. That's why I told you to wait until tomorrow. Oh, the movie was sorry anyway. I could tell. She said it was sorry. but it wasn't about the movie.
Yeah.
It was about you spending time with your kids. And so I asked, man, what do you do when you're so driven and blinded by ambition that you give the world your best and you come home and give your family what's left?
Yep. Leftovers.
See, I can talk about that. I've been that dude.
Yes. Talk about it.
I've been that dude. And with
Talk
the
about
check, look what
Talk about
boy, I got the check. And your wife like, okay, we got the check.
So that's always been a big worry of mine. And me and Dwayne have talked about this plenty of times. Like, bro, like, we could go out and try to really just expand this thing and just start speaking and doing it. But I say, man, my boys,
Man, come on, man.
would
There's no substitute for you.
There's no way. Like, I've been there since day one, like super hands-on. I'm like bathing them as babies, diapers, like, you know what I'm saying? We was rotating nights and like like I've been there since like they all they know as a guy, as a dad, is me. Like, I'm there.
Shit.
And if I was to just leave,
Man, come on, man.
because I'm trying to make more money when we're already good.
And you're already good.
See, we're already good.
And you've already lived below your means for so long, but now I gotta have more.
Mm-hmm. See, I couldn't risk that because, I mean, you got women on the road, you know what I'm saying? And then it's like, you want to be faithful.
Bro.
And then you, man, like.
Been there. Listen what I'm saying. When I say I've been there, man, my wife was a stay-at-home mom. When I moved back here, you know how much money I made a month? $637. Moved back, October 2000. $10,150 a year with a stay-at-home mom. And we made it. I did that for 7 years. Man, was it rough? It was rough, but we had each other.
Yeah.
Now, all of a sudden, I remember speaking. 1 month, I spoke every single day. I took 25 suits, and I was on the road for an entire month. I spoke every day that month. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
6 figures. 1 month?
Oh, yeah.
What good is that when you gain the world and lose the thing that mean the most? And you saying you're doing it for the ones you love.
But you're telling yourself
But you're telling them that you don't love them because you're gone all the time.
Right.
So, bro, I've been down that road. And then here come the wife and kids. We rolling with you. So, man, that's how my wife and kids start rolling with me because,
that makes sense.
I refuse
that makes sense, bro.
to go and not let them go with me.
That makes sense.
Man, we going, man, listen, we on the road. Man, and you can stop me at any time, bro.
You're good.
We in Kansas City, right? It's Trey Songz, Miss Laura, Trina, all them on the stage, and P. Key, right? I got my little Weight Project CD. So we at the hotel, man, and this, man, phenomenal. We in the van. I'm in the van, right? Rental van. So we get to the place. So they said, well, you need anything? I'm like, no, we good. Well, do you need a ride to the van? I know I'm in the van. So we get to the venue, man. They got limousines. They got all this, right? I kill the stage. Man, doing my little rap thing. Trey Songz, my kids take a picture. Man, we get to the meet and greet. It's like 6:30 and I'm sitting over there with my kids. And so the lady comes over. She's like, hey, this is the meet and greet. You know, you take pictures and sign autographs. I was like, yeah, I got Trey Songz autograph. I got Miss Laura's. She's like, no, you're supposed to be over there with them. Okay. So I'm supposed to be signing autographs. So I get my wife, we got the little roller throw camera, with the 15 thing that you get to the.
Yeah.
Get my wife, take this picture, go. And man, bro, I'm over here signing autographs. Yeah, how you go? Yeah, I'm from Alabama, bro. Man, I realized then, I said, whenever you desire popularity and influence more than you desire integrity and impact, bro, influence will give you so much. But if you don't have the integrity and you don't want to make the impact, man, the world will give you all that. So, bro, when I tell you God been hitting me on this journey, like people be like, man, no, bro, I didn't pass every test, but I learned through the process. So when I look at the dude, man, God said, man, can you sit, serve, be silent, and submit and unseen for a season? Can I what? Can you sit? Can you serve? Can you submit? Can you sacrifice and be silent and unseen for a season? What do that look like, God? You telling me come off the road? How am I gonna feed my family? You telling me man, I would get hit like that, man, and didn't know what to do. Oh, I said, well, God told me to sit. And then now I got this fake humility, you know.
Yeah.
PK, you ain't gonna say that, man. Good.
You want to.
Bad. Listen, bad.
I already know, bro.
So while I'm sitting, I'm just typing all my thoughts.
Yeah.
And then finally, when I get to California with Les Brown, boom. Les Brown said, man, somebody give me an acronym with blah, 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 blah. Man, I got it. Boom. Key, knowledge, empower you. I'm going to give you a letter. What letter? Give me the letter A. You got to call an audible on your attitude. When you get in a certain atmosphere, you have to alter, adjust, and adapt. Be alert, aware, and available. Have the audacity and the authority to use your ability to attack the adversary. These are the T. You got to... Bro, I got every alphabet with leadership principles in. Man, he said, we going to dinner tonight. We in California. Me and James Everett. We go to dinner. Man, let's say, look, don't you get on another stage until you put those letters in a book. Mm. Man, I get back to Alabama, man, my back go out. I'm getting ready to have surgery. Surgery was scheduled for 7 a.m. My guy said, man, don't do the surgery, man. Just do physical therapy. It's the same amount of time. I started physical therapy that next day. Now it all goes back to when he said, can you sit? Can you serve? Can you be silent? Can you da-da-da? He was downloading the ABCs to me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Les Brown activated and said, man, put it in a book. So boom, when my back go out, God said, you ain't got number time, you might as well. But it goes back. What if I hadn't have been obedient to sitting?
Yeah.
And so sometimes God is giving you instructions, but because we're not obedient, because we don't know why I got to sit?
Yeah.
Why you want me to? So sometimes, man, on this journey of life, God will have us to do something in one season that'll really be for the next season. But because we don't understand this for the next season, man, we forfeited by not doing it.
Yeah.
And man, I've been guilty of that as well.
But even in I think people don't understand, or they feel like, oh, if I am being obedient, then it's supposed to feel good.
Oh, whew.
And I'm
That's good.
like, that's the whole point. It's like sometimes you have to be obedient, even though you want to be disobedient.
Even though you want to be disobedient.
But within that obedience, like you said, it unlocks things. Because even though you were sitting silent, you didn't want to.
I did not want to.
But you had to.
I had to.
If you wanted what God had for you in the future.
Not even knowing what he wanted.
Oh, yeah. But the thing is, we know that something's coming from this. We just don't know what that thing is.
Man, that's good. That's
so
good.
it's coming. Good. But what is it that's coming?
What is it that, man? I heard Tiffany Edwards say this one day. She said, just because it's uncomfortable doesn't mean it's unbearable.
Yes, I like that.
So sometimes we're going through something that's uncomfortable, but it's just like a woman getting pregnant. She's been stretched. She's having the morning sickness. Can you imagine a woman getting pregnant and 1 month go back to the doctor? My stomach. Is it time? No, you're just 1 month in. But somebody got to let her know that what? It's 9 months. It's a process.
Yeah.
It's going to take time. Let me tell you about when I was pregnant. I remember my body. That's why I say we overcame by the blood of the Lamb and the words of the testimony. Somebody just saying, when I had my baby, it was this.
Yeah.
Somebody right now may be watching Pregnant with Destiny, but don't know that they got to go through some morning sickness, got to go through some stretching, got to go through some things. When I walk around this building, when I look at what you all doing now, when I sit in this studio right now, nobody know what you all had to go through to be able to birth this. There was some sickness. There was some stretching.
Yes, sir.
There was some late nights. There was some early mornings. But yet on the other side of that, look at what you're getting.
Yeah.
So what if what you're desiring was on the other side of the thing that you don't want to do?
Yes, sir. The struggle builds the muscles.
The struggle builds the muscle. The
all.
fuel for the success came from the struggle, man.
Yep.
That's what you said when we started.
Yeah. And I don't think people realize that the struggle, like you said, is what builds you. Like as you was talking, it fuels you. But see, it's the like in when I'm lifting weights, it's those last 2 reps that when I'm ready to just like, nah, I'm gonna stop. But it's those last 2 where you can feel the most gain.
Yeah.
So the harder the struggle, and the
struggle.
closer you get to almost being finished,
Come on.
that is when you can feel like, man, if I can just go through 2 more, if I can just do 2 more sprints, or if I can just do 2 more, just get this last rep in. Even though it's about my arm about to feel like it's about to fall off. But I know that as soon as I put it down, I'm gonna get relief.
Yes, sir.
And I'm also get results.
I'm gonna get going back to the woman. The joy of the birth have to outweigh the pain of labor.
Come on.
When that labor pain is there, man, it's the joy of the birth when they holding that baby that make them forget about all that pain. But until they had that baby, they just feeling the pain. And sometimes it's the pain and the problems that's producing the passion so we can walk in purpose.
Yes, sir.
But if you don't allow the pain and the problems to hit you, then you don't find the passion. You don't develop the purpose. You don't put yourself in position so you can make it happen because what? Man, it didn't cost you anything. And if it doesn't cost you, look at Oprah. Oprah, they told Oprah that what? You're not fit for TV.
Yeah, your face is not made for the
You're not made for TV. But yet she become Nelson Mandela,
Yeah.
27 years in prison, gets out and become the president of South Africa. Dr. Seuss, come on, man. 20-something times he get denied by every publisher he could think of. Now he's written, I don't know how many books, sold over 600 million books.
Crazy.
But yet the same one that they said couldn't. So sometimes that thing, I'm sitting here right now because when I was in middle school, I had a teacher that said, Pinky, go to the front of the class and read Shakespeare. I said, you the teacher, you go to the front of the class. Everybody started laughing. Man, she sent me to the office. I get to the office. Principal was like, hey, man, don't worry about her. You ready for the game today? So I was a basketball player. And, man, we had a big basketball game that day, man. He allowed me to stay in the office. And then, boom, man, balled out. I had 20 points, 8 rebounds, 4 or 5 assists, balled out. But when I went back to that class the next day, the same teacher said, P. Key, are you going to go to the front of the class and read Shakespeare? Or would you like to take a trip to the office for another one of your wisecracks? And man, I remember walking up to the front of the class. Frying. She said, sit down, it's friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your ears. Man, at that moment, I went from being the cool basketball jock with all the girls to the dumb kid from the west side that couldn't read. Man, when I got ready to walk out of class, she said, hey, don't worry. People from your neighborhood haven't read many books, and you don't need to know how to read that well to do what you're going to do in life anyway.
Wow.
I walk out of class, fist balled up. Man, I get home. That's when I find out about my dad. My mom said, hey, your dad left this morning.
Jeez.
He told me to tell y'all goodbye. He's on drugs, and he loved drugs more than he loved his family right now.
Wow.
My brother and I cry ourselves to sleep. Next day, I get on the bus. He can't read. That's back in the days, you know, you had the little lunch token. So now I got to go and tell her, hey, my mama said my daddy not in the house now, and now we got to get free lunch. Fill out the free lunch form. And I had one teacher said, Pinky, what is this about you cannot read? You're one of my brightest students. You know the Bala Shallow. You know this. How is it you got A's in my class? You got C's. I said, Miss Stockton, this is the way you teach, Miss Stockton. Miss Stockton said, if you cannot read, but you can remember whatever you hear, you have a gift. She didn't know that if I heard it, I could remember it. She taught me how to take a cassette tape player. And I would take that cassette and press record, and they would read, and I would look at the word. And if I heard it and I saw it, I could remember it. It was a gift, bro. That's how I made it through school. Because I had a gift to remember whatever I heard. The teacher said, hey, I got a little girl in another classroom who can really help you get on the ball. I said, Miss Stocker, she pretty, she can help me do anything. Why, she was, hey, Miss Stocker asked her, would she help? She said no. I asked her, she said no. Miss Stocker said, Pete, I don't think she like little boys who can't read. You got to, Miss Stocker, she gonna have to help me. Eventually, that little girl started helping me, man. Today, man, we got 2 daughters. And we've been together ever since, bro. I'm not saying it's been easy. But one teacher saw something in us that we didn't see in ourselves.
Yeah.
Because of what she saw in us. Her name was Miss Stocker. I said, what if I was supposed to be a Miss Stocker to somebody? So that's how we started the program in the schools. I said, man, it wasn't about algebra. It wasn't about reading. Miss Stocker gave me a 4-letter word that I didn't have. She gave me hope.
Yeah.
Hope is just a feeling of expectation that something good is about to happen. When these kids come over here, yeah, y'all tutor, y'all games, all of that. Giving them hope.
You're right.
At the end of the day, we're giving them hope. But it's because a caring adult saw something in us that we didn't see in ourselves. So why wouldn't we give it back? Why wouldn't we pay it forward? Why wouldn't we go get the next whatever, whoever, and say, man, because somebody did this for me, I'm going to do this for you. And that's why we do. That's the struggle. So that same struggle is what created the curriculums that we got now. That same struggle is why we do what we do. Because I had a way of learning that wasn't conventional.
Yeah.
But I realized how many other people, I didn't know anything about dyslexia. I didn't know that. I just knew the words jump around. I don't know. But if you told me the story, I bet you I could remember it. If you said, man, this is what happened.
Yeah.
I could come back and tell, oh yeah. So when I went back to, after I learned that, friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your ears. The good that men do lives up. Oh my God, they looking like, it's that PK.
He's back.
But I realized that God would take the thing that seemed foolish to confound the wise.
Yeah.
He'll use the thing that I tell a story. Man, you can stop it at a time, but it's this kid named Chase who's part of a youth group. And man, Chase had a stuttering problem. He just stutter really bad. And so the youth pastor said, hey, we're going to go in the neighborhood and sell Bibles. And so, man, he gave everybody a box of Bibles. But they only gave Chase 5 Bibles. And so everybody got a box in the group. Chase get 5. They go in the neighborhood. Chase come back 5 minutes later. Get 5 more. Chase had already sold his 5. Chase get 5 more Bibles. He come back 5 minutes later. 5 more. Youth pastor said, man, Chase has sold more than anybody. We might as well give him a box like everybody else. They get Chase a box. Chase sells that box and half of another box. So when they get to the end of the day, they say, all right, we're going to give the prize to the one who sold the most. He's going to get the gift card, the pizza party, blah, 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 blah. They say the winner is Chase Smith. Chase go up there smiling. Everybody like, Chase can't even, because everybody knew he had a speech impediment. So they bring him up and they say, Chase, you got to tell us, man, how did you sell so many Bibles? We didn't want to give you as many, but you sold more than, how did you do it? And Chase said, I just said, you won't buy a Bible, you want me to read it. And Chase said, I take my disadvantage and make an advantage.
Like that.
Chase said, because they didn't want me to
They sold
read it. They bought it.
Yes, sir.
And I don't know who's watching me right now,
That's
listening
good.
to me right now. What if God wanted to take your disadvantage and turn it into an advantage?
I like that.
Because I couldn't read. My advantage was I could remember whatever I heard. So he took what I could do well to help me offset what I couldn't do well. Nobody has all of it.
Nobody.
That's why the athlete works with the guy who may be a straight A student. The one who make A's may be nobody has it all.
Right.
But you got to be humble enough
Come on.
to say, man, he has something that I don't have. I may have something that they don't have. And instead of competing, we completing. We don't compete with each other. We complete each other.
Yeah.
I remember when y'all first started this program. Man, I was going from school to school. Man, Ray killing the stage. Where were you? And I'm going to the next school. I talked to Malone. He's like, man, bro, we just, we want to help him every day. I said, well, bro, more power to you. I said, man, you all can have that. Man, we're gonna do like an after school program. We're gonna work. Bro, I'm listening. Like, man, that's powerful, bro. What can I do to help? Because and I realized at that moment, could I do that? I could. But you gotta be willing to stick with what you're called to do.
Yes.
And forfeit what you're capable of doing to somebody who can do it better. I'm capable, but I'm not called to do that.
Yeah.
I'm called to go evangelistic.
Yeah.
From a spiritual standpoint. I walked around this building like, oh my God, this is phenomenal. I would go crazy coming over here every day. You over here, what's your grades? Oh. But you got to know that.
Yeah. Because you build relationship with these kids and
you build relationship, man, and
you start to care a whole lot about
they call it for you, man. I want to tell you the statement that killed me one day. This is what made me build a team. Man, I got a phenomenal team. Juanisha and great, man, powerful team. But you know what really made me build a team that I have? Man, I was at the alternative school and I would go twice a week. My schedule started getting real strong. Man, and I'm excited, but I'm only going there twice a week. Like I go Thursday and Friday 2 times a month.
Yeah.
So if I miss one time, that means I'm coming once a month. Well, if I got an engagement, I'm in North Carolina, I'm whatever, I done missed 1 or 2 months just by missing a couple of days. Man, one of my students said, Mr. Key, man, you almost like a father to me, man. Man, my heart was so warm, man. I said, for real? He said, yeah, man, like, you almost getting like my dad, bro.
He's been hit you with something.
I said, for real? He said, yeah, man, like, he just show up one day and don't come back for months. Bro, listen, I said, God. I said, man, and I realized it wasn't about my ability. It was about my availability. Are you going to show up? Are you going to come to the game? Are you going? So now I'm doing a disservice. Now the content, on point.
Oh, yeah.
When I'm there, we drop it.
Yeah.
So now I ask, how do I duplicate myself in the program so they get me every week without getting me every week?
Yeah.
And that's when we started building the team. So when you say struggle being the fuel to success, every single thing that I've done or that I do, 95, if not 100%, it was the struggle. Everything. These mics were created because somebody say, man, I can't hear them in the back of the room. So maybe we can create something. They say the greatest tragedy in the world is not death, but living life without purpose. So everything created
has purpose.
Has purpose.
Yeah.
And most of the time, purpose come out of a problem.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Let me ask you this question before we close out. We'll end with this one. Who or what has been your biggest inspiration?
Oh,
and
man.
Why?
Wow, that's that's loaded. Other than God and my relationship with Jesus, let's just get that out of the way. Yeah. Other than that, because you heard me talk earlier about when I went to jail, my first year of marriage.
Yeah.
And so I got out of jail in October. That following year, I'm smoking a joint. Y'all call them blunts now, you know what I'm saying? And I'm drinking some Hennessy on New Year's Eve. And this guy pop on the TV screen, consider your ways. I'm like, man, what is this? You know what I mean? And I had an encounter with God that night through a guy who was on TV, right? Powerful influence. But I can't say that because when I go back to Stockard in the reading, because without her saying, you have a gift.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't just say that because I got to go back to my mom, who died of breast cancer at 54 years old, and say, hey, you're going to change the world. You're going to do extra. Like, it's been so many influences. And then when I look at that, my wife, through every struggle, every season, saying, I got you. I'm with you. Yeah, you did that. We went through that. So, man, it's been so many influences over the years. I don't think I can say one person, man. And I'm still being influenced.
Yeah.
I still have mentors. I talked to my mentor the other day.
Good.
I still have people that pour, man. So that's nobody. I really got to think about it. I live by the statement, two statements. One that says someone's destiny is tied to your assignment, meaning that your assignment and what you do, somebody's destiny is tied to that. It's not just a job. It's not just a career. Somebody's tied to that. The other one is, if your presence doesn't add value, your absence won't make a difference. Meaning, if your presence is not adding value to the people, somebody watching this, I'm hoping that we're adding value. That they're listening and hearing something that, man, I didn't know that. Or maybe I can apply that. Because if it's not adding value when we're gone, it won't make a difference that we were here. So when you talk about influencing and somebody inspiring you, man, it goes back to what I said. If you seek popularity and influence more than you seek integrity and impact, then you're going to allow your desire for the influence to drive you more than your desire to make an impact.
Yeah.
And so sometimes we forfeit integrity because I want people to like me. I don't want to say what needs to be said. You know, I heard you talking on, I don't know what it was, but you were saying something about your sons and you were talking about, man, I talked to one like this, but I got to talk to the other one like this. And like how we have people who are watching us and listening to us right now. It's not a cookie cut. Y'all do this every week. Y'all have different people. Somebody may hear this and like, oh man, I don't need that.
Yeah.
But it may be the next guy that hear, man, that goes. So you may hear somebody like, nobody is a fit for everybody.
Come on.
But everybody is a fit for somebody.
Yes, sir.
And if we just do our part. So, man, when you say inspired by, man, several people still being inspired, still being influenced, still being impacted.
Well, I mean, I can agree with that because, I mean, most of the time you will have more than one person. Man, you know what I'm saying?
I don't know who to put the, you know.
Yeah, but that's good of you because you don't want to do that. Because if you had people, because then people get their feelings like, well, I thought I was. Yeah. I thought, all of y'all have played a role. Man, some more than others, some more impactful, some at a certain season that was needed more. But when it's all said and done, there's been multiple people that has shaped PK.
And when you go through those seasons, man, if you don't realize that sometimes, man, everything is not for you, but everybody's not against you. And you do your part, do what you can where you are with what you have. Let God do the rest. Man, there are no limits. If somebody listening to me right now, if there's one or two things that I wanted you to get, man, the one thing I would get is that you can get that from where you are. I was talking to a group at Northwest Shows yesterday about being uncomfortable, but being comfortable while being uncomfortable. And I just said, don't quit. It wasn't this deep feeling. It was just don't quit. Man, your car broke down and don't quit. Man, if you feel like, man, I'm not gonna make it, don't quit. Man, my child is, don't quit. Never ever make a permanent decision based on a temporary problem. Just because you feel like your problems won't go away, now you think that you should go away. I wanna let you know that you matter. And you're here for a reason and not just for a season. You are here because you matter, because someone's destiny is tied to your assignment. In my roughest season, in the season that I thought was going to take me out, with a blunt in my mouth, drinking Hennessy, watching TV, became the night the transformation took place. I call it being in the pit. And the pit could be a place of tragedy, a place of turmoil, or it could be a place of transition and a place of transformation. But you determine what that is. So you may be watching me right now and feel like you're in a pit. Let it be a place of transition. Let it be a place of transformation. Let it be a place that your future self thank you for going through the pit, because now you know something that you didn't know before you got to where you are because you went through it. Don't ask for the road to be easier. Ask for God to give you strength, to have more faith, to make it through whatever you're going through. And that's my word. My name's Pete Key, and I'm going to stick to it, man.
Pete Key, y'all heard him. He came through blazing. Definitely, you can definitely tell that this man is gifted. Public speaker, man. You can tell that he's walking in it. He is studying his craft. He knows what he's doing. So reach out to Pete Key. Hey, we out. That's another episode of the Elevated Chat Room.
And peace. Y'all be out, man. Hope is the key.
Elevate your mind.
Hope is the key.
Elevate your life. Appreciate y'all. Be blessed.